What's up, nation? What's going on, people? Or should I say my people? I know it's late. I know it ain't too many people up right now. So I'm not expecting people to jump in live. Well, but I want to start off the conversation with, let's see. Well, let's start with this. Let's start the conversation off with this. A lot of women is now claiming self-love, right? Now you keep on with this self-love and you're going to get yourself bipolar. You know what I'm saying? You don't supposed to be loving yourself. You're supposed to be loved by someone else. Of course you're supposed to love yourself. You're supposed to love yourself from the beginning. Okay? So let's jump to the next point here. I don't want to spend too much time on this. Let's go to courting, because a lot of people don't even know what dating is, man. I mean, for real. Especially if you go on the internet, you look at a lot of these females' profiles, they be saying some outrageous stuff. You think I'm lying? Go on Facebook dating, and you'll see some of the profiles. Some of them don't even have profiles. Like, they just don't say nothing at all. But I'm going to say, out of 100% of the women on there, I'm going to say a good 65 to 70% of them have bad profiles. Like, you will skip over them. They look beautiful. Some of them are fine as far as like it, not seeing them without makeup and, fake hair and all the fake stuff. Some of them look good. But they don't know what dating is about, which was originally called coding, right? Coding someone was initially talking to that person, getting to know them, finding out what they like, what they dislike, their favorite places to go, things to eat, things like that. You talk and get to know a person, right? I mean, the second step is to go out together, right? You go out on a date, maybe to the show, out to eat, you get the real feel for each other out there in the real world, right? So the third step would be meeting their parents. A lot of y'all skip over that one. Because what we've been taught in this generation is live your best life. You too young to be worried about getting married. You too young to be worried about something getting too serious with somebody. You used to be worried about your career. Or you used to be worried about this. No, that's not how it should go. You should be telling your children that marriage is honorable. You know what I'm saying? I know the Bible say you find a wife, you find a good thing. And I'm thinking the same thing for a woman. You find a husband, you find a good thing. Now, a lot of people ain't got divorced over money, supposedly cheating, things of that sort. Now, there is a thing where you can divorce a person for cheating, but it has to be the way the Bible explains it. It can't be the way you want it to be. See, that's what a lot of people do nowadays. A lot of people, they just want to go off how they feel, their emotions, on everything, But the next step after meeting their parents would be engagement, to get engaged. You know what I'm saying? to really be together. It's like a promise ring. You committed to that person to say that you're going to marry that person. And then the next step from engagement is marriage, right? To get married. That should be the ultimate goal, is to get married. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people, they get married and then their marriage fall apart, and then they go out here and tell the rest of the world, oh, don't worry about getting married. Don't do this. Don't do that. Don't do this. Just because your marriage has failed, don't put your failure on the rest of the world. Because you couldn't make your marriage work, or the person you decided to get married to wasn't worth it. All right? But let's just keep it real. The Bible says that if you have sex with a person, that becomes your husband or your wife. Now, you can try to dispute it all you want to. But the fact of the matter is, if you read the stories and if you read them correctly, the marriage was not consecrated until they had sex. So let's just say if y'all was talking and then y'all went out, y'all got to step 2 to go out on a date, and then y'all decided to have sex afterwards, right then and there, that should be your wife. Or that should be your husband. And if you don't take it in that source, you're committing sin. It's sin. I don't care how you try to flip it, turn it, twist it. God consider it to be a sin. Because you don't supposed to be going from person to person to person. Okay? You're supposed to be with one person. Or if in the man case, he could have multiple wives. Y'all could try to dispute that too. But we read the stories and you'll see that damn near every Israelite or prophet almost had 2 or 3, 4 wives. All right? So I wanted to touch on that. Now I want to touch on something else a lot of y'all be saying. A lot of y'all, men and women. Right? With this, I'm spiritual. What is spiritual? Don't you know that demons and devils are spiritual too? Like, you can't play with God. You have to know who you serving. You could say you claiming that you serving the God of the universe, but what's his name? Which God is that? Because all the gods of the world all claim to be the God of the universe. So, with that being said, if you don't believe in no God and you worship the trees, the waters, and the rocks, what is that? Huh? What is that? It's called spiritual idolatry. When you worship other gods, it's called spiritual idolatry. Because you all is spiritual. You know, you don't want to claim the God of Israel, fine. You'll regret it later. What they say, what's that old saying? Laugh now, cry later. You definitely gonna cry later. Now, I want to read this verse that goes into spiritual idolatry, right? And it says, this is Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 14, verse 12. For the devising of idols was the beginning of spiritual fornication, and the invention of them, the corruption of life. Okay? So I'm going to read that one more time for you to get the real understanding. It says, for the devising of idols was the beginning of spiritual fornication, and the invention of them, the corruption of life. Right? Now, I'm going to end this video because I want to make another video that's going into something totally different about, my boot camp, my business. So stay tuned. couple of minutes. I'll be right back with the next video.